Live from the Moscone Convention Center in San Francisco, California, it's theCUBE at Oracle OpenWorld 2014. Brought to you by headline sponsor Cisco Systems, with support from NetApp. And now, here are your hosts, John Furrier and Jeff Frick.
Okay, welcome back everyone. We are live here in San Francisco. This is theCUBE. We are at Oracle OpenWorld 2014. It's our flagship program. We go out to the events, extract a signal noise. We are on the ground in the exhibit hall, in the booth of Cisco Systems, and my next guest is Jim McHugh, back again, co-hosting today, Vice President of UCS Marketing, and Jan Fischer, Senior Product Marketing Manager for RHEL at Red Hat. Welcome to theCUBE. Welcome back, co-host.
Great to see you again.
Here. Good to see you. So Red Hat is pretty popular these days in the enterprise. We were at the Red Hat Summit, and just kidding, of course, they're hugely popular in the enterprise. It's a really interesting story. Red Hat has emerged as a tier one player in the enterprise over the years, with Linux obviously setting the stage. Now as we go to the next stage, what's the relationship? How does that fit in with Cisco? Why are you here? What's the relationship with Cisco? Share your perspective with Cisco.
Well, I think it's all started more over a decade ago, and who would have thought that Red Hat would emerge as one of the leaders, of course. But the root of our success was definitely within the upstream community and the open source. And from there, the collaboration, the upstream collaboration, the work that all of our contributors have been doing kind of came together as a stream of innovation, and we have essentially were able to put some structure to it and bring it together for the enterprises. Obviously, for many years, we have been collaborating with Cisco, and in terms of UCS collaboration, that has most recently evolved as our joint OpenStack announcement and collaboration that you may have heard of.
So Jim, talk about the relationship from your view. Obviously Red Hat, we've interviewed them, and we actually brought theCUBE to Red Hat Summit, and the word I would summarize Red Hat is bulletproof Linux for the enterprise. Absolutely. They really focused on testing, support, making sure it's bulletproof. So good credibility there, congratulations, but you guys have the same reputation of having reliability. How does this tie together? Is it just OpenStack, or is it more than OpenStack?
No, it's only natural that we're working together. That's the way I look at it. You know, UCS, we're the leader in integrated infrastructure. Red Hat is the leader in open source. So if you look at across here, a lot of the activity where we started working was data center modernization, right? So a lot of risk migration. You know, for Cisco, our target when we help people do risk migration is Red Hat, right? So they're the natural target. So we've had a long-standing business, and we've done a lot of great work together there. As we started expanding out, saying we need to work in different platforms, obviously OpenStack, was one that we targeted. And frankly, I would say that the OpenStack community did a big sigh of relief when Red Hat decided to actually come in and make it based on RHEL, because it brought all that button-down enterprise-grade, components that you talked about, and bringing that to the OpenStack community as well.
So talk about the impact to your business from a product standpoint. Is it joint development? Is it just a relationship? Talk specifically about it.
So in the RHEL space, obviously, they're in the operating system business and doing a lot of the development right there in open source. That is more us doing joint go-to-market, right, and actually solving our customer's problem. When it comes to OpenStack, we're a large contributor to the OpenStack community, as well as Red Hat is, so that's where we meet. We meet at the community first, and our contributions, and then actually as we do, we're a leader in the Neutron component of obviously being a networking company, and when we do that, actually we then can do add-ons, and so we're working with the RHEL OpenStack Platform Edition. Let me get that right. The RHEL OSP.
Correct. Red Hat Enterprise Linux.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is OpenStack enterprise ready? And that's the number one question we had. Certainly we were broadcasting live at OpenStack Silicon Valley with theCUBE, and there's a lot of things going on at Neutron, a lot of different debates. Yeah. Red Hat has a view, Brocade might have a view here. You got containers looming over the top with the Docker dominating the conversation. You got the PaaS consolidation. It's a lot of stuff going on OpenStack.
Sure.
Is it ready? I mean, what's your take, and what will it take to be ready from your standpoint?
Well, I'll let Red Hat lead this, because what they did for Linux, we're glad to see it start happening for OpenStack more and more. It's maturing. It will mature more. But yes, is it ready? I think now you're hearing people talking about doing deployments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting to kind of a critical mass in terms of the number of contributors that we see in OpenStack. We see big names, we see small guys coming to the party, and that is one of the main reasons why Red Hat is so adamant about making sure that OpenStack continues to be a one movement, so to speak, right? So the segmentation that we all fear may kind of throw a monkey wrench into this process, but right now I think we're in a good path, we're in a good place. We are working very hard in getting the community aligned behind our goals of making a single OpenStack and having the distribution there.
So OpenStack this year was interesting. You know, we obviously were on Twitter heavily, covering all the speeds and feeds, and it's a geek fest, no doubt about it. A lot of geeks out there. And also, which is great, there's a lot of stuff to be done.
Some of my best friends are geeks.
Oh, we're geek. theCUBE's all about geek factor. We love talking about tech. We're talking to tech athletes. But there's a great organic stuff going on in OpenStack. So there's no debate, there's a lot of organic action. But the feedback we were hearing on Twitter was not enough business outcome conversation. So I got to ask you the business outcome conversation. Because there are a lot of folks looking at OpenStack that are serious players. I mean, banks, financial institutions that are saying, hey, you know, guys, sort that out all out in the community. I hope you can fix it soon, or agree on things, disagree, whatever, but get it fixed. I have NetApp drive filers, I got NetApp storage, EMC's run all my email, I got Red Hat run everything, and IBM servicing it all. So I just want to get my cloud up and running, so give me my damn OpenStack. So that's kind of the mindset of the customer. So that's kind of what the demand pressure is from the customer. They have a lot of incumbent Red Hat, they have an existing infrastructure. How do they deal with your relationship? How would you talk to that person? Not so much the geek, but like the people saying, hey, I gotta refresh my infrastructure or re-platform, as we were talking earlier, and I want to get OpenStack because I like the Lego kind of design factor of OpenStack where I can take this and that. What do you guys say to that person? What's your story there? What's the positioning? What's the value proposition?
I'll go first and I'll let you follow. But I think
sure.
I think that's why our relationship coming together in OpenStack makes the most sense. Because you said it from the beginning. You have the two leaders in their space coming together, and who knows better of how to support an enterprise and answer their questions than we do from an infrastructure standpoint, and that Red Hat does from a infrastructure software standpoint or an OS standpoint. And to the other side is, I wouldn't bet against open source ever anymore, right? So if you have someone that says it's not there and going for it and there's all this confusion, look how fast it's coming along. Yeah. Look how many people are coming into this. And so I think customers understand that. They understand, like, this is open, you got a lot of people who are contributing to it. Yeah, there's some things that need to happen. So while they're waiting for the maturity to go faster, why not come to Red Hat and Cisco and get the solution? Because they know they'll get the level of support, they'll get the level of understanding of their business that they weren't going to get from some others.
And they want to know if you're committed to it. So are you committed to OpenStack?
Absolutely.
100%?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise, yeah. And at the rate of innovation that is happening in that community right now, I think we need serious players. We need someone who's experienced to bring it all together. And that's Red Hat's main role in that, and we're very glad to have Cisco and others
So
joining.
talk to my scenario about the person who's sitting there trying to run a business, trying to transform their infrastructure, who has Red Hat, and Red Hat is in there running production. And probably your customer, you probably knew who it is if I say the name. Of course it's your customer. But they have real things to work on. What do you say to that person? Give them a taste of what's coming, your vision of OpenStack, how the relationship will go forward. Features from UCS, custom features, technology. Can you share any insight into their...
From Red Hat's perspective, we have a clear path of migration from bare metal to virtualize to the cloud, which is OpenStack in our case. The true value of our ecosystem that Red Hat was able to build, and on the software side, is definitely our ISVs and people who have come to Red Hat for many years to consume the products that are certified to run on Red Hat. They're enterprise ready, they're fully supported. And that is really what we bring into the play for the OpenStack, is our ecosystem of ISVs and partners that will bring a kind of calm and educated approach to very fast, very quickly evolving system.
All right, so I got to ask you on the question, because one thing we monitor very heavily is the FUD factor. So in OpenStack in particular, there's a lot of FUD, and Red Hat's a really engineering-oriented company. They don't like to play with all the noise in the marketplace, but there are noise. How would you clear up to a customer out there, or a prospective customer, the noise around who's got this and that? What's Red Hat's vision for OpenStack? Can you share your perspective, the vision of what you will do with OpenStack and RHEL?
I think the final destination that we see, and that's kind of in the making, that would be the cloud platform for major enterprises, and Red Hat hopes to play a role in that, and we're definitely working hard to support that as a destination.
So John, you made a point earlier. I mean, like, people have a lot of things they're just trying to deal with right now, and frankly, we expect to do a lot of good business together. CiscoUCS running Red Hat, running Oracle apps, right? So that's not really an OpenStack approach, right? So we're going to do a lot of business and take a lot of customers just on pure RHEL, right?
Yeah.
And then there's going to be the new types of applications that people are writing that actually are going to be calling for that new platform, that new approach, and that's where OpenStack comes in, right?
We just love OpenStack because it creates so much controversy. It just creates more conversation and ratings for us. But it's an area watching. But you bring up the point. Let's talk about real businesses like here at Oracle OpenWorld. They tend not. There's not a lot of noise here. It's all about business. A lot of money on the table. Certainly vendors and customers here investing. Investing and
there's a few more suits at this conference than there is at an OpenStack.
Well, the stakes are high. The stakes are high, right? You guys know you have enterprise. You guys do a lot of work on testing to make sure RHEL is really stable for customers with, well, I think it was 7-year support cycle. It was
actually up to 13 now.
13, so that's significant. I mean that's worth noting, right? It's not just like, oh, it's open source. No, it's open source tested and then SLA'd for over a decade, which is amazing, I find personally. But the real issue is, to your point, is that they're number one. Linux has emerged as a number one source of software. I mean, the whole idea of Linux was an alternative to the other guys. So the new thing about Red Hat is that you guys are now a player in the enterprise. Okay, so you're more legacy than UCS. So I have to ask Jim, you're the new guy on the block, compared to Linux. So what innovations are you bringing to the table for Linux customers?
So I mean, obviously what we bring is actually targeted. Look, we talked a little bit before about service profiles and the values of actually defining what that server is going to do. When we do our certified validated designs, we work with the guys at Red Hat. We figure out what's the best way to run that particular workload from the application through RHEL down to the infrastructure. So we help them determine not only compute, but the network and storage as well. So you get a complete reference design. And when Cisco does it, we don't kid around. I mean, they're like 98 pages, like every detail you could possibly think of. So doing that level of contribution and actually the deployment guides, taking that what we've done for years about risk migration and all other components and bringing that to OpenStack as well, that same sort of approach is going to be a big contribution. Other things we do is obviously we're bringing our networking components, our style and what we're doing, contributing there, and working to make sure that they're in the distribution that's coming from Red Hat. So you're seeing a plethora of things that we're doing. So I think all the value we give to the different applications, it only goes better when we're actually making Red Hat the target.
Yeah, and also you're getting not only a lift with that new capabilities, as OpenStack comes into the enterprise, it's not the other way around. It's going to come and sit in the enterprise, so that'll be lift for OpenStack.
And frankly, we both bring services to the table, right? And management capabilities that actually really help the customer get to that next level.
And we certainly expect that our existing customers, and as you said, Linux and the Red Hat Enterprise Linux specifically has become a destination for major migrations from the older technologies, the legacy one, specifically databases, software. So we expect those customers to look at OpenStack as the way to innovate with us, to stay within the ecosystem, and as we build and migrate them from old proprietary platforms, we could definitely have them kind of rejoin the family and feel the excitement.
There's no doubt when the history books are written in the tech industry, when I got the gray beard, forward. Cisco and Red Hat will be there in the Hall of Fame for sure. First year available to be voted in if there is one. Maybe we should start with the theCUBE Hall of Fame. But Linux is probably one of the most exciting things that's ever happened in the computer industry from a major transformation. Obviously, networking speaks for itself, and so congratulations to you guys that come together, working on some great solutions, and bringing that like reliable, high availability kind of mindset to, which is a dynamic software market right now, certainly in open source, and it's getting much better. So the good news is there's more people using open source now than ever before. Every year it seems to be that there's more open source stuff going on in terms of overall projects and contributors than ever before. So I agree, don't bet against open source. Open source will win every time, and I think there's truth in crowds, as we heard from CSC earlier today. It was a great soundbite. So guys, thanks for coming on. I'll give you guys the last word. Share with folks out there the relationship and what you're excited about working together. Start with Jan.
So we're looking forward to continuing the innovation process, definitely working with our existing joint customers, and looking to get some new customers who will join us on the journey to the cloud and the OpenStack as well.
I think it's exactly that. I mean, it's going to be really exciting helping customers make that transition from the nuts and bolts they're dealing with today to helping them expand out to the next component. I think, there's a big shift coming, big components. I mean, we work together and doing a lot of big data type solutions as well, so a lot of fun activity and just helping the customers through the process and knowing them that they can get there safely.
The innovation strategy you guys have with UCS certainly is awesome. Multi-vendor, do it in the open, do it reliably, make it sure it's bulletproof. Congratulations, Cisco and Red Hat working together. That's the big story here in this segment of theCUBE. We're right back with our next guest after this short break.